Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langai Degirim Kripatam Hamande Shri Guru Din Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mission. Hare Krishna. I would like to welcome all of you for our study of Sri Bhagavad Gita. So last week we did, I think, till verse number 15 of second chapter. So anybody would like to say what you remember from the last class? Very quickly, very brief, not in details. Yes.
Krishna Prabhu, so we saw about how we need to deal with all the reversals in the life, how to take it up. So we need to consider that these reversals are because of all our past karmas. So we need to think in that aspects, and then we need to think that these are all Krishna's plan, and we need to take this as a stepping stone towards the Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, very good. Good, Prabhu. Yeah, any more points? Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice points. Any more? Any more points? Anybody? On the same line, on the tolerance, tolerating the reversals. We discussed four points, I believe, in this regard. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In the fourth point, as Prabhu said, first one is happening as past karma.
Past karma, Prabhu already mentioned, yes. What is the second one? Second one also Prabhu mentioned that this we should take this as an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness and to go closer to Krishna. Yeah, he mentioned that. What was the third point?
Only a token of our punishment.
Yeah, it's only a token punishment. Yes, correct. Yeah, and then?
We deserve more than that.
Yeah, that's part of the token punishment, yes. We are deserving more. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, we need to accept this is Krishna's plan. And everything happens because Krishna approved or sanctioned it. It's because of Krishna's permission or he sanctioned it. That's why it is happening. And the last one, it is because of, we should understand that whenever dualities happens in our life, we should think that it is Krishna's blessing, and so that we can improve in our spiritual life. Also, we can surrender to Krishna completely.
Okay, very good. So good points all of you shared. Nice, but how to practically follow this? This is a question mark. Good to say 4 points, 5 points, or maybe more than that. But how we will practically follow it? How we can do that? What do you think?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, by practice, we need to, under the Guru, whatever he is saying, we need to follow that, like chanting and Shravanam, Kirtana, Smaranam. So if we strictly follow that, we can.
You are saying and you are smiling, you are laughing. What does it mean?
No, Prabhuji, no, we can.
You are not confident in that?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm confident, Prabhu. 100%.
Yes, okay. It is possible Krishna should give us this mercy actually, to tolerate. Yeah, we can theoretically understand it and we can remember also, like we are we don't remember all this, whenever it is required to be remembered. Whenever we need this, we don't remember. Now we will remember because we are not facing any problem. We are sitting here and now we will be able to remember. But when any problem comes, suddenly this has to come out. But instead of this, other things are coming out. Our anger, our that distressful nature, disgustness, or like that. So many other anarthas will come out. Not what we are learning. Mostly it happens. Anyway, what to do? So we have to go through this. So at least initially we can try to remember this deliberately, and we can do. The point is that it is mentioned that anything, if we want to really imbibe in our life, we have to constantly think about it. We have to contemplate on it. So when the contemplation happens, we will see that contemplation is the reason for even for anarthas or anger and other things. Contemplation is helpful for our sadhana also. So the contemplation has two parts actually, because if we are contemplating on the sense objects or contemplating on the material things, then that will lead to anarthas. But if we are contemplating on the spiritual aspects, that will help us to be more and more stronger in bhakti. So the activity which is called as contemplation is very good if we are using it in a proper way. So we can, as Mataji mentioned, yes, by improving the quality of our sadhana, definitely we will be able to tolerate the things, because our senses will be more controlled and our intelligence will be sharpened. So we know what to do, what to think, how to respond, at particular situation. So that all will happen by our sincere sadhana and Krishna's blessing. So Krishna's blessing should be there with us. So for that blessings, we should be sincere, right? So blessings will come automatically if we are sincere in this process. So that is how we can understand. So sincere sadhana, which followed by Krishna's mercy. Then secondly, contemplating on these things when we are not in danger, when we are not going through the problems. So when we may not be going through the problems, but we can contemplate when we are not facing the problem. So then that will become, that will go inside our heart. And then when the time comes, it will come out automatically. So it is mentioned that we say, right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that to remember Krishna is the goal, right? So like Anta Kalecha Mameva Smaran Mukto Kalevaram. When we leave the body, Krishna says, if you are remembering me, then you will come to me. So how it is possible actually to remember Krishna at the end of the life? It is only possible when we are alive, when we are having good health. If we practice it properly, then when it is required, when we don't have our power or capacity or our health or everything is maybe not supporting us, it's not a conducive time and circumstance, but it's not a problem. It will not be a problem because we have done enough practice in the at the right time, or when we are healthy, when we are more young, when we have practiced it, that will help us. So likewise, we can contemplate when we are good, when we are in a good state, and that will help us when we are when we really go through the problems. So again, I am saying again theoretically, jo practically it's not possible. I mean, I have not experienced, or I'm not following also, but point is that this is what I have heard from my superiors. That's how we can follow, or we can say we can imbibe it. So anyway, so tolerate, we mentioned two verses last class. One is Matara Sparshasu Kaunteya, wherein Krishna mentioned that we need to tolerate like the change of seasons. Then Krishna says, Krishna is saying in the 15th verse also, very important verse, saying that one who is not disturbed by the dualities, that person is eligible for liberation. Right? So we also mentioned that if we are still having these dualities, happiness and cold and heat and distress, happiness and distress and heat and cold, or such kind of dualities, if we are still in that cycle, if we are going through that cycle, then we are not yet eligible for liberation, or we are not yet eligible to go back to Godhead. So we have to come out of this. This is what Krishna says. Now let's see what he says next. Okay. So this is verse number 16. Okay, you can follow me. Nasato vidyade bhavo. Somebody?
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyade satah.
Na bhavo vidyate sada.
Ubhayorapi drishtontas.
Ubhayorapi drishtantas.
Tva anyos tattvadarshibhi.
Tva anyo tattva darshibihi. Translation: those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change.
Yeah.
This
Thank
they
you.
have concluded by studying the nature of both.
Thank you. So here Krishna is saying that the seers of the truth, or Tattvadarshibhi, the seers of the truth, they have realized that, they have understood that both the things, matter and spirit. So basically this verse is speaking about what is matter and what is spirit. Asat. So here seer of the truth or Tattvadarshibhi, he is realized the conclusion. What is his conclusion? That here he says, the seer of the truth or Tattvadarshi, he or she, no gender here, no permanent existence for the material body, understanding that material body is going to perish, or material body will not remain forever. That's first understanding. This is the truth actually. Second truth is that no change in the soul, no change for the soul. So soul is not changing, but material body is changing. There is no permanent existence. So what is the meaning of it? Spirit, soul is eternal. Material body is not eternal or not permanent. This is the point. And that is the nature of matter and spirit. So matter is perishable, or we can say matter will be destroyed, or there is no permanent existence for the matter. But for the spirit, yes, it's eternal, means it's always existing, and it was existing before, now also, in the future also, means it's always, there is no change for that. So we can understand that the body changes. The body changes every moment, and if we know that different cells are going through changes, right? Our cells of the bodies are changing. We know, we have studied in the biology in the schools, right? But what is happening to the soul? Nothing is happening. Soul remains the same. So we have already discussed, I believe in the last class, that when we die, our material body, the gross body, the whatever we see outside, is getting destroyed. We all know that. Not only that, only that gross body is getting destroyed, but our subtle body is still existing. So what is subtle body consist of? Subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and false ego. I believe we have discussed this in the previous sessions. So our gross body is made of 5 elements: Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, means earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is Panchabhuta. So our the exterior body, we can say the body what we see outside, which is called as gross body. Gross body is made of 5 elements: Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. We have already discussed this in the previous sessions also, how we can understand these 5 elements, right? So when we die, our body, if it is burned, it will become ashes. So it will mix with the earth element. So we can understand that there is some earth element in our body. Fire element we already know in our digestive system and all, and also we know the water content in our body. Third is, so it's 3 items: what, earth, water, fire, done. Then there comes the space. Space means here, of course, there is space between cells, space between the organs. Yeah, and the 5th one is air, and there are different types of air also in our body. Air also different types are there, but we can understand air is there. So our body is made up of 5 things, and this is gross body, and the subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. Mind, we know, we already discussed. Thinking, feeling, willing is the role, or is the function of the mind, characteristics of the mind. Second is the intelligence, the ability to distinguish right and wrong, ability to distinguish good and bad is what is intelligence. Third is the false ego, the understanding that we are this body, or thinking that we are this body is what is called as false ego, or thinking that we are we are not Krishna's, or there is no connection with Krishna, by the way. So for those who are thinking that I am this body, then what connection they are thinking that I am having with Krishna? No. So false ego means thinking that I am this body, and true ego means, or actual ego means, understanding that we are not this body, at the same time we are Krishna's amsha. That's the true ego. So anyway, this false ego is one of the subtle body. So the subtle body is not changing when we are dying. Subtle body will be with us when we go to when the soul leaves one body, and soul will accept another body. So how the soul will accept another body? According to the impressions and desires in the mind and the karmas or whatever, which is actually part of the mind, and it will decide what is our next body. That's how it happens. So our subtle body will be with us always till we get out of this material world. Till that time, subtle body is not changing. This manas, the mind, intelligence, and ego is going to be with us. Same thing. So, but what is happening is that by spiritual practices, all the impressions, all the desires from the past lives, which is already in the mind, is being cleansed. So mind is not changing, but there is a cleaning process. Similarly, intelligence is same what we are carrying from time, from the beginning, and that will continue also. But intelligence, again, there is a cleansing process for intelligence by practicing bhakti. So all the contamination, so the distinguish between right and wrong, we are not able to do now because of that contaminated intelligence. Now that contamination will be removed by practicing bhakti, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by studying Shastras, that will be sharpened, So like that. And false ego also, that feeling that I am this body, that also will change. That is also changing gradually when we practice bhakti, right? No, at least we all of us know theoretically that we are not this body. We are Krishna's amsha. Theoretically we know. But actually speaking, practically, if we know it or no, depending upon different individuals' capacity or our understanding. So at least theoretically we know, right? That something is that itself is something great. So like that. So the point is that subtle body is not changing. So soul remains the same. There is no change. But subtle body, so the gross body is changing, of course, and subtle body is not changing, but at the same time there is different processes happening. Cleansing is happening, even contamination also can happen in the mind. See, if we are doing so many bad things, then the mind will become more contaminated. So like that. So changes are happening to that, in that perspective, for the mind also. But for the soul, no change. So the point is that soul does not have any relationship between the subtle and gross body. Simple as that. means soul is not connected actually, in the sense there is no relation between subtle body and material body. Soul is independent actually, but what is happening is that this soul is covered now by the subtle body and gross body. That's how we all exist now. We are all now sitting here. So we have our actual identity is soul, but we have a gross body outside, and we have subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego also. So like that. The soul is not changing. This soul always remains same. So the point is that then, so soul actually does not have any relation with the subtle body or gross body, and this subtle body and gross body is the reason for our lamentation and bewilderment of this world. Why we are getting bewildered or confused, or why we are feeling we are lamenting, all this based on the material body or body in the either subtle body or gross body, correct? There is no connection with the soul. It's not that soul is becoming soul is lamenting or soul is getting bewildered. Actually, soul is not getting bewildered. So who is getting bewildered? We feel that we are getting bewildered, but it is the function of the mind. So mind is getting, if the mind is not clear, then we will be going through lamentation, bewilderment, etc., etc. But if you see the soul, no change actually happening. Nothing is changing the soul. However, we can understand then how it is affecting us. This is the problem. Right? But how? If the soul, we say that we are souls, and at the same time we are saying there is no change happening for the soul, nothing is affecting the soul, but how we are experiencing this problems and other things, happiness and distress or whatever? The reason is that though we are spirit souls, we are covered with this gross body and material and subtle body, and the gross body and subtle body is going through different changes, and according to the modes of nature, like sattva-guna, modes of material nature is sattva-guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. So according to this nature, also things are moving. The soul is actually aloof from all this, but since the soul is covered with a material and as a gross and subtle body, it has to go through it. So in fact, so the point is that whatever feelings we are getting, for example, whatever problems we are facing, or happiness or distress, from the material perspective, is actually affecting only our gross body or subtle body. It's not affecting the soul. But we think that it's our problem, right? We are identifying the problem as our problem. Actually, if we think that we are spirit souls, then this problem also will not affect us actually. This is what is happening to the great souls. We'll take the example of our Guru Maharaj, Srila Jayapataka Goswami, Guru Maharaj. He has, in 2008, he got the stroke first. Then after that, it took a lot of time for him to, not completely recovered also after the stroke. Some of the side of the body got paralyzed. Then after almost 10 years, then I think, no, after a few years, then his organs got problems, like liver and kidney functioning was a problem. Then in 2018, he went through the dual transplantation, basically liver and kidney, both transplantation happened at the same time, which is, we cannot even think about. Anybody can go through all this, and this all started from 2008, I'm saying. Now we are in 2026. Still he is there, and still he is continuing his services every single day. Still, of course, his external body, if you see, it's restricting him to travel like what he was doing before, but still he is doing so many things which even people like us who are having the proper body, proper health, we also cannot do what he is doing. How it is possible? And if we ask him, are you, having any, how do you manage this? If you are asking, he is saying, I don't even feel that I'm having all these health issues. That's what he says. He says, I'm always in bliss. This is the statement from him. I am always in bliss. I'm always in this bliss because I am serving my Guru. I am serving Krishna. So the point. So what he is teaching us. So many great souls are like this. What they are teaching, that they are teaching that they have understood that this is not. We are not this body. We are spirit souls. That they have understood, and that is why they are always in bliss. So any complications or any problems for the body is not at all affecting them. So that is the practical, practical example. Another example from Vrindavan, one famous, Brajavasi is there. So he is also now very, very famous personality. All over the world he is famous, very famous. And he is also going through the dialysis every alternate days, but still he is in bliss. He is still giving satsang and classes, so many things he is doing. People are coming to Vrindavan just to see him. It's like that, still continuing. How they are able to do it? Because they are not in the bodily platform, completely aloof. So it's not only theory, it's practical. We will not understand, but there are devotees, there are pure souls, there are pure devotees who are experiencing it, and we have examples. These are some examples for all of us. So it's not only theory, it's practical. It's practically people are we can follow, or we can see those who are following. So the point is that whatever is happening around, basically lamentation or bewilderment, everything is basically happening on the platform of subtle and gross body. That's all. And because it is happening because of our ignorance, the ignorance or misidentification with this body. So we are identifying ourselves as body. This is the problem, which includes gross and subtle body, by the way. We are not identifying ourselves as spirit souls. So a Tattvadarshi, Krishna says in this verse, that he understands that no permanent existence for the material body, and also there is no change for the soul. So he understands, the seer of the truth understands what is matter, what is spirit, and accordingly, not only theoretically understanding it and realizing it and following it, like that. That's the point. That is what we can understand from this particular verse. So let's go ahead. We are going slow. Avinashi tu tat vidhi. Anybody, please?
Avinashi tad vidhi
Yena sarvam idam tadam
yena sarvamidam tadam
vinasham avyayasyasya
vinasham avyayasyasya
na kaschit kartumarhati.
na kaschit kartumarhasi. Translation: that which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So here, soul is indestructible. That's what Krishna is saying. Means avinashi. There is no nasha, or it cannot be destroyed. Soul is indestructible, and this soul pervades the entire body. So how we can understand the soul is pervading the entire body? So Krishna is saying here that which pervades the entire body, you should know that to be indestructible. So, what is pervading? Pervading means what is present in or pervading the entire body, that is spirit soul, that is soul, and that soul is indestructible. That's what Krishna is saying, and no one is able to destroy that also. So, how we can understand that soul is pervading the entire body? Yeah, who can say?
Because of the consciousness.
Yeah, correct. Because of the consciousness. So basically the soul pervades the entire body means basically that we are having the consciousness. So the consciousness is the symptom of the presence of soul, basically. And no one can destroy. Krishna says no one can destroy this imperishable or avyaya. He is saying soul is indestructible. And Prabhupada mentions this verse in the purport. This is regarding the size of the soul, basically. Balagra shadabhagasya shadadha kalpitasya cha bhago jiva savijneya sa chanyantyaya kalpade. This is in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. This is a verse from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. So this verse describes the size of the soul. Okay, so when the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts, then each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. So 100, the tip of the hair is divided into 100, then again one part divided into 100, again each part is further divided into 100 part. That is the size of the soul. So basically, please understand, why is it correct measurement what is being mentioned here? Actually no. Shvetashvatara Upanishad or scriptures are giving, even other scriptures also mentioning this, something similar to this, similar to this verse. It's not we should not take it literally, the 100 cutting into 100 and then again 200. The size of the soul is like that. So the point is that, so the Shastras conveys that soul is very minute. That's all. That is how the message is conveyed. So to convey that message, some some explanation is given, like tip of the hair cutting to 100, then again 100 dividing to 100. That is the size. So we should take it in a literal way, basically. So the point is that Shastra conveys that soul is very, 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 very minute and we cannot see. And no microscope of this world or anything of any microscope or anything we see of this world cannot see the soul. It cannot be perceived. Microscope maybe can detect virus and bacteria, but not soul. So this is very, very, very small. Not only small, it is subtle. Can we, not only the size, because of the size we are not able to see, the subtleness, like we are not able to see the mind, correct? We cannot see the mind, we cannot see the intelligence because of this subtle nature. The soul is more subtle than mind, more subtle than intelligence also. It's very, very subtle. So that is why we are not able to see. Not only the size. So size is only just for an information, just to make us understand that it is minute, or the size is very small. That's all. Okay. Now, further he says, the individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all the energies of the bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. So Srila Prabhupada mentions the individual atomic soul means all of us, we are all individual souls, is definitely there in the heart. So it is located in the heart. By the way, again because of the subtle nature of the soul, if we ask where the soul is actually located, so soul's presence can be perceived by consciousness in the body. But if we ask, is it because soul is cannot be located just like that, like we say mind also, but soul, but as per Shastras, it is somewhere in the region of the heart. That's what it says. Somewhere in the region of the heart is the where the soul and super soul exist. That is why we say, no, heart is the most important organ. People don't know the reason actually. We will say, yeah, when the heart stops, everything is stopped. Body is finished. So why heart is very prominent? Because actually, if we say from a spiritual perspective, because the soul is somewhere present and in the region of the heart, and the super soul is also present. Super soul means the Paramatma. So along with the individual soul, super soul Paramatma is also there. And Krishna says, and Prabhupada says, and thus all the energies of the bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. So that is why, see, why heart is, we say, no, biology says, scientists say, heart is the powerhouse. Actually, from heart, everything, all the power for the bodily movement is happening. The pumping of the heart is what is very important, correct? So we know that. So all energies for our bodily movement are emanating from the heart. And why heart is very important? Because of the presence of soul and super soul. Prabhupada mentions here further, the corpuscles which carry the oxygen from the lungs gather energy from the soul. See? When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generation fusion ceases. So this is what is happening actually when we die. So soul, when soul exits the body, when soul exiting the body, what happens? There is no oxygen, or we can say that corpuscles which carry the oxygen, they don't get energy because soul is left. Soul, when the soul is leaving the body. So this is happening. That's how the death happens. So it's not that heart is just stopping. The soul is actually leaving. When the soul leaves, heart stops. Body become dead. This is what is happening. So this is the nature of the soul. Okay. Now Krishna, further Krishna says actually the whole entire section is up to verse number 30 is the science of soul only. So he's explaining about the soul in different ways. Different characteristics are being described by Krishna. Okay, now we did 17, correct? Yeah. So let's do this also, 18 also. Antavanta ime deha
Antavanta ime deha
nityasyokta sharirinaha
nityashyokta saririnaha
anashino prameyasya
anasino pramayeyasya
anashino prameyasya
anasino prameyasya
tasmad yudyasva bharata.
tasmad yudyasva bharatah. Translation: the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So here Krishna is saying material body versus spirit soul. He is saying antavanta ime deha. This material body is perishable. Perishable means destroying. Will be destroyed. Or yeah, nityasyokta sharirinaha. So here the soul is eternal, but so the first line says the material body is perishable, nityosyakta sharirina, but at the same time the soul is eternal. Anashino aprameyasya, that soul is indestructible and immeasurable. So indestructible and immeasurable. Tasmad Yudhyasva Bharata. Therefore, fight Arjuna. That's what he is saying. So, so the material body is perishable; it will be destroyed, but the soul is eternal, and the soul is eternal means it is always existing. There is no birth or death for the soul, ever existing. That is eternality. Soul is indestructible means it cannot be, it will never get, it cannot be destroyable or destructible, and immeasurable. See, it is immeasurable also. Then how we can say that it is 1 by 10,000 of the tip of the hair? So as I mentioned earlier, it's actually soul is immeasurable, but at the same time, why scriptures are saying just to indicate that soul is very minute, that's all. So anashino aparameyasya. So Krishna is saying that these are the, you should understand material body will perish, but soul is always eternal, soul is indestructible, immeasurable. Then why you are hesitating to fight? Why you are hesitating to fight? You get up and fight. This is what he is saying. Okay. Yeah. Now in the coming verses also he is actually continuing the same. I will just, we'll see the next verse also, then we can stop today. Ya enam veti hantaram.
य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारम्
Yaschainam manyade hatam.
यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम्
Ubhau to na vijanito.
उभो नातो न जानीतो
Nayam hanti na hanyate.
नायं हन्ति न हन्यते. Hare Krishna. Translation. Neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge. For the self slays not, nor in slain.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So maybe we think this sentence is a little complicated. We may think in that way, but we don't have to worry. The simple meaning is that soul does not kill or get killed. Nayam hanti na hanyate. So for example, neither soul can kill see, neither he who thinks that the soul is the killer, nor he who thinks it is killed is in real knowledge. That's what Krishna says. That's the meaning of it. Means the soul cannot be killed, or does not kill anybody, or will not be killed, or means will not get killed. So means soul is always existing. So basically soul is subtle, eternal, indestructible, immeasurable, and cannot be changed, and it is very, very special. We can say that its soul is very special. We cannot just imagine, we cannot just bring some material conception for the soul. Soul is beyond our understanding actually. But Krishna is very clearly indicating, telling or teaching us actually the nature of the soul through all these verses, right from verse number 13 onwards. He is teaching us. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow the remaining explanation for the soul. Again, we continue the same theme. So that's what Krishna is in different ways he is trying to explain about the soul. To inspire Arjuna. Arjuna, you are not doing any wrong thing. You are not killing the soul. You are actually killing the body, and that is required as per to establish the dharma. You need to do your duty, but actually you are not killing them. Means you are not killing their soul, or so please don't hesitate to fight. So in different ways he is trying to inspire and teaching us. Basically Krishna is teaching all of us our actual identity. Who are we? This is what is being taught here. What is the difference between matter and spirit? At the same time, he is telling us who are we. So this is what is we are learning actually in this particular section. Okay. So with that I will stop here. By Krishna willing, we will continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Sachinandan Shri Gaura Hari.